Okay, so today's video is about the Ace family. I feel like there's been a lot of updates, and recently there was some more updates, so I'm just going to go over all of that in today's video. I feel like I've spoken about the Ace family a few times recently, so I'll try and find as many videos recently and put them in the description, just kind of whatever I find, so you guys can get updates. And yeah, let's just do a quick recap though. So we have Austin McBroom, who's been like the downfall of the Ace family, I guess you could say. There's just a lot going on with him. For example, his boxing career, right? He put on this Social Gloves TikTokers versus YouTubers event, and if you're wondering like, oh, wasn't he just like the main fighter? No, he was the main fighter as well as putting on the event, because the event was put on by his company, which people found kind of in records. Kind of while deep diving into who put on the event, they figured out that it was actually Austin putting on the event, which isn't that a bit of a conflict of interest if you're the main event while also putting on the event? Anyway, the way they sold the fight was that it was going to make $500 million and it was going to get, you know, X amount of pay-per-view streams, etc, etc, where it only really was recently confirmed that it got 140,000-ish estimate numbers, 140,000 pay-per-view, nowhere near the $500 million that they wanted to make from the fight. They promised a lot of people a lot of money. I know the UK fighters got paid beforehand, so they're fine. Like Gib got paid, a few other people got paid, Deji got paid, but everyone in America just did not negotiate good terms, so they didn't get paid. That's including Bryce Hall's little $5 million thing that he was going to make that he hasn't made. There's some other scams as well. Scams. I don't want to get sued. You know, scams. Like his How to Become a Millionaire program, you know, just so many different things that were supposed to make him a lot of money and are actually losing him money, to the point where their house is now on auction, but they're still denying the fact that the house is on auction. So let's just go over it. So Catherine addresses it again on Snapchat, and I have the screenshot. Someone said on Snapchat, "Your house is being put up for auction. Why are you guys acting like nothing?" And she said, "No, my love, I have not spoken about any of this publicly, but if I did, I think most of the hateful people that wish us pain and failure would feel very stupid for ever assuming the worst." I don't think people are wishing failure and pain upon them. We're literally just saying like your house is going up for auction because you're not paying it off. They don't want to do something about that. Like, no one's wishing you ill will. They've got 3 kids. Like, do I want their kids to be homeless? No. Like, do I think they're going to be homeless? No, because they still have money. But do I want their kids to lose a house and go through something so traumatizing? No. Which is why I'm saying he is the downfall of the family, you know, by putting on these events and being so egotistical to think they're going to make $500 million on a YouTube versus TikTok event, and then owing so many people money, putting on these weird app membership subscription things like How to Become a Millionaire, while also not providing the content that would be worthy of the money that people are paying for it. It's now all leading up to him obviously not being able to pay off his house. Like, they got this huge mansion. They actually bought 2 mansions and joined them together into one mansion. So they're technically paying off 2 mortgages at once, because if you're buying 2 houses, you're paying off 2 mortgages, even if you join them together into one house. They owe, you know, mortgage repayment, they owe property tax, just like a bunch of different amounts. I think it's adding up to about $9 million at this point. At least that's what it was. I'm assuming, you know, interest is piling up, more mortgage repayments are piling up, so there's probably even more now than a few months ago when we first found out about this. So they actually got, I remember people found, I think it was Sloan that actually found all of these records on the internet, and Catherine and Austin have been heavily shading Sloan indirectly, basically being like, oh, this is people wishing, you know, failure upon us, spreading misinformation. But Sloan quite literally just found official records of their house not being paid off and owing money, to the point where now Sloan has actually found records of their house going on auction. So in the States, from what I've kind of heard from my American YouTubers, you have a few warnings almost. Like, there's the first warning, which is like, hey, you owe us some money, like you're not paying off your mortgage, your property taxes, yada yada yada. Then you get a warning which says, hey, if you don't pay, your house is going into foreclosure and we're going to sell it, which is why it appeared on Zillow as going under foreclosure. And then you get the final thing, which is, hey, your house is going on auction, it's going to be sold to someone for cash so that they can recoup some costs because you haven't been paying off your mortgage and your property tax. Their auction date has actually been set now, and Def Noodles went to the initial auction date, which was then moved to mid-October, so that will be coming up sometime soon, where their house will be going on auction. Someone can actually just buy the Ace family house. And then what are they going to do? Are they going to just keep on lying about the fact that their house is being sold? Because they're going to have to move out. So what are they going to, like, how are they going to spin this one? How are they going to spin this story about them not having to sell their house? I'm so confused. Anyway, It's just not fair how people can just assume that I don't pay my bills or something. That's so far from the character and much more. I think people forget that we built our house, that we are in a pandemic. Most cities are closed and unable to get permits, etc. Not everything in the world has to do with money. Many people work from home now. It's like we are living in a different world due to the pandemic. None of this relates to the fact that you're just not paying your mortgage and your property tax. Like, none of that relates. Even during the pandemic, you are making money because YouTubers make money during the pandemic because we don't work in sectors that have been closed down. So like, the pandemic really makes no sense. She's saying almost like, oh, like permits and stuff like permits have nothing to do with your house going under foreclosure. What is the criteria for your house going under foreclosure is the fact that you're not paying your mortgage, you're not paying property tax. There's nothing to do with permits in this whole story. Like, nothing at all. Nothing to do with pandemic, permits, construction, anything like that. And the fact that she's saying, oh, we built our house. No, you bought 2 houses and you joined them together. That does not mean that there's no mortgage. Or I feel like she's trying to sell the story to her fans that's like, we built our house, like how could we not be paying the bill? No, you bought 2 houses with a mortgage, joined them together into one house, one mortgage technically, and now you're not paying your mortgage and your property tax. Like, that's all there is to it. Things happen, but not for the reasons people wish. No one's wishing this upon you guys. Like, no one's saying like, oh my god, I wish oh, actually there could be some people saying that. Truth be told, there could be some people saying that. Normal people are not saying, oh my god, like I wish the Ace family just like lost their house, because they have kids, you know. No one really like, I don't wish these things upon people. I just want an explanation. I just want to know why she's sticking around with Austin when quite clearly he's bankrupting this family, and they're still lying about this house and them like not going bankrupt and not losing their home when they're quite clearly losing their home, and it's going to be put up for auction literally this month. So if it gets sold this month, they're going to have to move out of the house within the next few months. How are they going to spin that story to their fans? I'm so unsure. Anyway, the saddest part of this is there are actual people losing their homes with nowhere to go, and to see people making fun of the idea of losing a home is sick. Wish people well. No one, okay, once again, I'm not saying no one. Some people could be. We're not making fun of you for losing your home. We just want to know why, how, when, and is this anything to do with the fact that Austin McBroom is quite literally being sued for $100 million? Because he promised people numbers that he was not able to give them with the fight? Is it because he's being sued? He's in multiple lawsuits right now. There's also that thing, I recently spoke about this. Actually, I'm not sure if I spoke about it. I hope I spoke about this. So there was this Lux rental company, and I remember Keemstar didn't cover it, and then he basically said that people are spreading misinformation by covering it because it's not true. And then recently Sloan spoke to the people behind the Lux rental car company thing, and it actually wasn't misinformation. They did get scammed. So there was a Lux car rental company, and Austin McBroom rented, I believe, 2 cars from them for the fight, and he didn't end up paying them. So he apparently offered them kind of like engagement, so he was going to post them and then pay them. Didn't do any of that, and then bullied them off the internet. Basically had his lawyers track them down, scare them into being silent. So then they deleted their Instagram account. They stopped going after him publicly because they were posting publicly saying, oh, you still owe us money, you still owe us, you know, engagement and posts and stuff like that. And because they deleted their post and didn't continue pursuing that, Keemstar, I believe, was the one that was like, see, they're lying. Apparently they're not lying. Apparently they were just like scared off the internet by this bully of a man. With his lawyers, you know, going around sending cease and desist and stuff like that. So apparently he still owes them money, and he still owes them posts, which he has not done. So he just got these cars that he rented for the fight, and then he just didn't end up paying for them at all. Then we also have Rocket Jump, which is a media company that helps you to fake engagement. Essentially, they'll get you fake views, likes, comments on YouTube. So for example, if a video is a little bit controversial and they're getting some heat for it with, you know, likes to dislikes or comments being really negative, the company will come in and fix the like to dislike ratio by adding more likes, and then they will basically add comments and make them reach the top so that it almost, you know, when you click on the video, it looks like they're not getting heat, which then with mob mentality and how things go, if you see a video that doesn't have much hate on it, you're not gonna think anything of it. But if you see a video with like a really bad like to dislike ratio with some top comments calling them out, you might start calling them out as well. So it just helps with that. They will increase like their views on live streams on Instagram, do that kind of thing. So they apparently pay them about $5,000 a month to do all of this for them, and they just have not been paying them. So there are invoices that the guy behind Rocket Jump sent to Sloan that are like multiple months of just not being paid by the Ace family. Many emails back and forth basically saying like, hey guys, you owe us money, you owe us money. So we have the Social Gloves event lawsuit for $100 million. We have Bryce Hall still not being paid the $5 million that he owes, and he was actually on Aiden Ross's stream the other day and spoke about the fact that he doesn't think he's going to get paid. We have Nate and Taylor Holder both suing Austin McBroom and his company. We have the Rocket Jump situation where they're not being paid and they might end up suing the Ace family as well. We have the Lux Rentals, who are a small company, so I don't think they'll be suing necessarily, but they were scared off the internet, and if they were to find a lawyer to do it for them for free, they would probably also be willing to sue Austin at this point. And then we have the auction of their house, and this all just like ties together into this like fake facade of the family channels where they pretend they're doing so well, and they pretend that these like perfect families with perfect lives and they're so rich and successful, and then you look behind the scenes and they're quite literally losing their house because they're living so above their means. Like, the Ace family makes so much money, like incredible, unreal amounts of money. To go bankrupt from that is very difficult. Like, I feel like it's very difficult to do that. But actually, if you're living above your means, you know, why they need to buy 2 mansions and blend them together? They could have bought 1 mansion. There's quite literally just 5 of them. They have a house that is, it looks like a palace. It looks like there should be like 30 people living in there. They could have just bought 1 big mansion and would have had half the costs, half the mortgage, half the property tax. LA is so expensive as is. Property tax is really expensive. Taxes are really high. Like, with how high taxes are, they have like 10 cars in front of their house with McLarens and, you know, Lamborghinis and all kinds of, like, you need maybe 2 cars. Like, if you're feeling crazy, you know, 1 each, maybe 2 each. At some point, like, you're not a billionaire. Like, you're rich, but you're not that rich. Like, you don't need all of this stuff, you know? And I just feel like they've been living above their means for so long that it's finally caught up to them, because not only are they living above their means, they're also now being sued. Add the 2 together and you've got bankruptcy. Like, that's all I'm saying. I'm not saying they're filing for bankruptcy. I'm not saying they're going bankrupt. I'm saying it's a recipe for bankruptcy. Anyway, I think that is it for the Ace family. If you guys enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up, comment down below anything you want to comment down below, and subscribe to post videos every time something happens. So hit that bell. You'll be notified when that's happening. Social media links, any of the links in the description. I'll see you in my next one. Bye, guys.